It's weird though, because it's almost like, because there's so little space, you don't feel necessarily there is a side of the map to have a secondary tactic.
3, 2.
You're right, but
There is.
it's still an interesting map.
Who are you on?
I'm on Tyke off the start, who's grabbed that first Mega Health disc. Of course, in that Mega Health area, you don't actually have very good access to the weapons, so all he's got to his name is a grenade launcher.
Oh wow. Wow, he's been very lucky.
He's been helped onto the rocket launcher.
Of course, he's got no advantage from that Mega Health now, thanks to the LG push. Takes a bit of shotgun damage. Brilliant frag.
It was nice rocket work. And of course, this red armor area, it's a real stronghold on the map because if you want to push this area, you kind of have to force yourself into bad angles. You have to go up bounce pads. You have to, you know, be in an area where there's an open overlook. You know, down onto players, over to players. It's a hard area to attack.
Really nice play from Immortal, taking out, what, 4 of the players in a row. Excellent work. Here's Inkez is rewarded with the quad thanks to Immortal's work, I think. As they do lead on the frag count as well. He's going to miss out on that red armor, but he can push in high now against the setup at the red armor from Team Evolution. Oh, you'd expect that to kill him one hit normally. Does escape with the frag as well.
You have to say this is an extremely strong start for Deliberate Murder Disc. Off the back of Immortal's good work pre the first quad and Ickhead's good work with the quad, they've really set themselves up nicely.
I like the way he's playing this. He wants to be safe and get that mega.
Oh, how has he stayed alive there for so long?
It's kind of unfortunate he didn't have any buckshot left.
Yeah, albeit his team support didn't arrive just a fraction of a second earlier.
Let's see what Team Evo can do now. In control of this red armor. 5 seconds to go till Tyke can grab it. Really wants to just push them back. Oh, coming up the stairs behind him. There's that red armor that picks up a frag on Fortune. Wow.
Brilliant rocket.
What is with his rockets? They're so good.
That's the second time he's hit a really nice rocket into that exact position. This time, though, was even more impressive. And he's doing a real good job for his team. I mean, he probably needs some relief to come in very soon for this next red pickup.
He's done a very good job there. Sometimes you don't want to actually get a frag or take someone on. You just want to scare them off, and that's exactly what he did there.
This is not bad for Team Evo right now. It's unfortunate that Detto takes him out, but they have a rail in the red area as well. It's just whether or not they can keep hold of it.
Wow, he's got to be careful. Detto going through this doorway. He is. Looks like his team has taken control of that red area. Red won't be up for another 10 seconds though. It'll be the last one before the quad.
It's interesting. Everyone just seemed to swap then. All the Team Evo left the red armor area, and they're now on the the weaker side of the map, as it were, getting ready for this quad.
Oh, they're in a very vulnerable position here with Detto railing down at them. It's 2 rails. Got teammate supporting it. It wasn't quite quick enough to save the quad though.
Detto did some good railing, but as you say, his team didn't get there quite quick enough. I think a more concerted effort by 102 to get to that quad, and he probably would have come away with it again.
There's that red. I'm really kind of missing my pro subscription now.
I know.
I'm fine with the money staying in my account.
I don't understand. I mean,
but
now you've got a job and you're earning more money, you don't have a pro account? I don't understand your logic.
I had a job before.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Then why have you got a new one that doesn't let you stream?
Right. Basically, I'll tell you why. Because I don't have the time now, it makes no sense for me to pay for something I don't play.
Yeah, it does.
Or get time to use. Oh, it does. It does.
It's called supporting the game.
Hmm.
No, I actually believe that's a good reason. I'm just giving you one option of why you would choose to do it.
Well, yes. That might be one option.
3, 2, 1, fight.
Take some money out of the level up vault.
Yeah, could do that. Could do that. Premium account maybe, rather than the pro.
Maybe. It's up to you. You don't want to be one of those peasants that has to be invited to every server, do you?
No, I really don't. It wasn't fun today, having to beg to be invited.
Because I wasn't around to invite you.
Can you invite me with premium? I don't know how it... Or
I
do you have
don't
to
know.
Pro or...
I honestly don't know.
What's the benefit? You just get a pro badge? Oh, you can boot servers, can't you?
You can boot servers and you can make clans and see stats. All things you'd think would just be part of the game anyway. No offense to Quake Live.
I've got a,
I just think the payment model's a bit of a joke, to be honest, but to each their own, I guess. I'm
got a
sure it's working out
suggestion
well.
from the audience. A CA player should co-cast with these guys.
Alright. Any CA players available?
Well, we used to play CA, so
Oh,
perfect.
yeah, we did.
Sorted.
We were the best
Sorted
team,
already.
and I was the best CA player of all time. I've just decided that now.
Okay. Next raid's going to be up any second now. Kenny looks like he's going to demand this one. There he is. Wearing that armour. Rushing around the map now.
Russian around the map against the Russians?
Yeah, there you go. What kind of strategies would you use coming from red? Nice first rocket. Oh, misses that shotgun.
The way I always used to look at playing OSP6 was don't expose yourself to being shot by the people holding red armor, but try and gradually work your way in, because once you can get up some of the bounce pads if they're unguarded, or find your way in to make some shots onto the red, you can sort of have a holding point where you allow the rest of your team to join you. But rushing the red, I don't think works too well. I think it's always been sort of more of a gradual way of working yourself into the position.
Interesting. They are rushing the red at the moment, though. And Tyke has turned up perfect time for it. Grabbing that one. Rewards himself with a freshly spawned shotgun as well, so that worked out pretty well for him. Mega is up below, although he's going to miss out on that one. Maybe a teammate grabbed that. And we're looking at 10 seconds till quad, so they want to be starting to set this up. Oh my god, Fortune. Heavy plasma didn't really do too much damage, though. They look like they'll be pretty good for this one. Oh my god, big fight over the quad. And Kenny comes out with that one.
And this is exactly what Team Evo needed. A relatively clean quad pickup, some armor, weapons, even a lightning gun now to his name. This is looking like the starts of maybe a comeback, if he can do something with this.
Surprised he's taking the bounce pad route.
So am I.
But it worked out alright.
It worked, but it's always a risk. You never know when you take that bounce pad whether someone's just going to pop out from around a corner and shoot you on it. That's unfortunate, but he's missed out on that rare.
Yeah, he'll regret switching to the rocket.
And
Then
look
he
at
gets
that.
caught out.
Fortune, so brave around that corner with 4 health, but he played it based on the sounds. He assumed that the player would have been distracted, and he took full advantage. That's what TDM's all about. Unreturned damage, and that's no better example when the player has 4 health and anything hitting him will kill him.
Frags count, most important thing. It's not like CTF where it doesn't matter.
No, it's all about damage nets. That's what matters.
Damage nets, okay.
Unreturned damage.
And accuracy stats.
It's the absolute cornerstone of TDM. It's the foundations. Unreturned damage.
Okay.
The best players have the best damage nets. Don't you understand?
If you all have a good damage net, you can still lose.
That's not possible. You can't.
You can, because there's items on the map to replenish.
All right, so, get rid of the items then.
Yeah, and why don't we just have it round based?
Nah, but seriously, I tell you, the only thing that needs to change in TDM and Quake Live, right?
Prepare to fight.
Weapon drop. It's got to go.
2.
It's
Get
trash.
it gone.
It's trash. It ruined the game. Look at this. This is stealth Splinter Cell style play from Fortune. Oh dear.
Timeout again, they're calling for. Or sub. Ooh, what's going on here then? Dive in, Vor.
I don't know. I don't want to upset the balance.
Win the game. Be most unfortunate.
I'd come out with the damage nets just as I've been discussing. In fact, I wasn't really about the damage net, so it was more about just the consistent machine gun damage. And now that machine gun's been nerfed, that playstyle's been ruined, and now I don't want to play.
The whole game's been ruined.
In fact, now I don't even want to do anything. See ya.
Oh dear.
What's wrong with weapon drop? It discourages team play. And you might think that's weird, and you think, oh, but dropping weapons for your teammates, that's team play. No, it's not. There was more team play involved with securing weapons for teammates. And now that you can just grab anything you want and then go and drop it, it's removed a major element from the game.
Everybody has weapons all the time as well, so the play is just this more constant tempo. You don't get massive switches up where people are like it's silent while everybody's building up, and then
Yeah, control was far more important in Quake 3, where you had to go and get the weapons for your teammates. Your teammate dies, you have to go and help him get a weapon. Nowadays, you just take anything you want and then drop it for your teammate. It makes comebacks more difficult if the control sort of starts to switch, because you still have to deal with so many weapons in the hands of the other team.
But the thing is, like, I would freely admit that I thought weapon drop was the right way to go at the start of Quake Live.
Yeah,
I thought it makes sense.
I
good
understand. You were short-sighted. You didn't understand.
idea. I was foolish. I was being a posh twat.
Exactly.
And now I've paid the price heavily.
You've ruined the game, basically.
Yeah, I've single-handedly ruined
Not only
this.
are you unwilling to fund the game so that it can improve in the future, you are willing to push through changes that cripple the game.
I do apologise. It's my personal preferences that have ruined Quake. Leviathan would have been a brilliant map if I hadn't.
If you haven't got your dirty paws on it.
Oh, please take me away. Ban me from this game. I'm nothing but a bad influence. The only thing is, though, I've woken up, I've seen the light, and I know what the future should be now.
Oh yeah?
Here's a tip, right? Quake 5.
Better netcode.
I've got more detail.
I just wanted to say, right, that is not a suggestion. If anyone is writing suggestions for Quake 5, to say better netcode is not a suggestion. That doesn't mean anything. And it's like saying better graphics. It doesn't mean anything. You have to actually make actual suggestions.
Can you imagine the developers go, wait, better graphics? Well, we didn't think of that. That's brilliant. Click the better graphics button over there.
In the Game Maker 2000, it just pops out a Quake 5 with better graphics. Jesus, man, get some real ideas.
Can I say, right, I've also suggestions such as speed up the fire rate of machine gun, or lower the damage by 1 on the rocket launcher or something. It's not really, there's no point saying that. Let's have some big, bold ideas. Here's an idea that you might have heard before. Plasma gun.
Don't do it.
When you shoot it at a wall, temporarily in the area it
Alright,
affects,
stream's going offline.
you can see through the wall just for that split second. So you could use the plasma in situations where you wanted to just have a quick shot at a wall before you wanted to go around it and then attack an area, and you could see through the wall. Genius.
Can your opponent see through it?
I hadn't considered that yet, but what do you think?
I don't like the idea.
I think they could see through it as
Do you know
well,
what I would like? I would like a mode. It doesn't have to be the core game, but I want a mode that's like Call of Duty when you play it, and there's like leveling systems and unlocks and stuff like that. I just think stuff like that's addictive and gets people interested in a game, and then they might eventually evolve their understanding of the game and get an appreciation for the core game that we enjoy now. So you add in the gimmicks in a separate mode or whatever, and things people are used to from other games. A leveling system, unlocks. I mean, unlock system is actually a way to assist people in learning the game, because you don't start out with everything. You unlock things gradually and you learn to use them. And I think that assists people into getting into a game like this and understanding it better.
Yeah, I think
if you move from a game like COD, let's say, and you shouldn't ignore a game like that, because there's plenty of people playing that might enjoy Quake. But if you move from COD, what do you have? You have a sidearm, a primary weapon, and your knife, and equipment if you've chosen to use it. So you're going from thinking about 3 things, and most people don't think about their pistol or secondary weapon at all. They just use their primary. And now all of a sudden you're confronted by what? 9 weapons, 10 weapons in the game, depending on what mode you're playing. And that's quite overwhelming for people. It might be an off-putting element initially.
I saw some suggestions from people that were actually quite radical and quite interesting, such as reducing the number of weapons to something like 5, maybe.
I could sort of go along with that.
Taking out strafe jump, because it's like a hidden sort of.
I must say, I like strafe jumping, but at the same time,
Barrier to entry.
I play a lot of. Well, I don't play it recently, but I play a lot of Battlefield, Call of Duty as well. I don't miss strafe jumping when I play those games.
No, I mean you can still have movement elements that are a lot more simple. I think.
I'd honestly like to see a Quake, just as a test. You don't have to actually, release a game like this, but just as a test.
You have
but
to.
Increase the movement speed, but remove strafe jumping. So you'd move a lot quicker than you do currently, maybe almost twice as fast as the current, but you can't strafe jump to gain speed. That would make dodging far more effective. It'd be much harder to hit someone who's dodging well with increased movement speed, and it's just something to try. Strafe jumping. If you're used to Quake and a real hardcore fan of it, I'm sure strafe jumping is one of the most fun elements of the game. But it kind of looks clunky from the point of view of someone who doesn't understand what's going on.
I think the movement's beautiful though. Like when you see the defrag people moving about and the jumps you can do, and on these maps, like this map especially, is so great. But
it's just something to think about. I wouldn't want to see strafe jumping removed from Quake. I'm just thinking for other games in the future.
Got another great suggestion: better shoutcasters.
Oh yes, exactly.
NSX straight in there. Good call.
Quake isn't really blessed with, the kind of shoutcasting talent that, a game like League of Legends or StarCraft has. And I think, there are good shoutcasters in Quake, but they're not at that sort of StarCraft, League of Legends level. I don't really makes a huge difference though.
No, but the production of League of Legends is just, actually professional now.
I know, I really enjoy watching it, because a lot of the ideas, I'm not saying, obviously, I'm not taking credit for it, but a lot of the ideas of League of Legends are things I would have definitely wanted to see in Quake, and have always had in my mind to try and implement in Quake, if we actually had the ability to do that, and the budget, obviously.
You need to differentiate yourself from the competition. Without the strange movement system, Quake has nothing, says Markov.
I think that's true to some extent. It's a unique element that no other game can say they have Quake-like movement.
Do you know what? I saw a comment from Weird, it was from, and he said, you need to sell Quake, and this is something we said, I don't know, 4 years ago or something. You need to sell Quake as the ultimate challenge, the best first-person shooter. That's something that's difficult.
Prepare to fight.
Maybe.
And impressive and challenging. Here we go.
Back
in the game.
What other changes? So, Latromi is back. Okay.
Takes out Detour there, Kenny. Nice rockets across the map. Moving in 10 seconds to go before the Reds. 50 seconds before Quad can get a couple of spawns in. With the red armor before that then.
Yep, all important to spread that armor around so you've got as many strong players on your team as possible for moving into that red armor.
What should he do with the red?
Did you see that rail from below? Yeah. I can't believe that was missed.
From a 102 player as well, and Detour.
It was Detour who was hitting so well on both Campgrounds and Retribution.
What should you be doing with the red armor at this point? I think it's before it's Quad, you probably want to do what he's doing and save it.
Yeah, I think so. Normally you'd want to see your red armors making sure you got lightning gun secure, moving around with the lightning gun and the red, moving around low to the mega health, to try and get on that. But there we go. Kenny is completely destroyed by AKS's lightning gun. Just once you're caught with lightning gun like that, it's so hard to get out of it.
This is a great move in by 102 for this Quad. He's going to get caught out though by the Plasma. Nice work by Tito. Excellent. And Team Evolution are sort of clawing this back.
They really are. That pause may help them. It might have killed 102's momentum.
It is 2-0, by the way, for 102 at the moment. It's a best of 5. This is the grand final of the Summer Cup. Yep, 102 in another grand final. Team Evo actually in another final. They're usually in the first division final.
Yeah, the Open Cup final, they are regular winners of the Open Cup. This time they're playing it. Obviously, in the Summer Cup, it's teams of varying levels, and
it's the FA Cup.
I don't know who they've beaten to get to this final, but to get to a final against 102, this is a huge jump up in quality from what they would face in the Open Cup, and showing good progress as a team.
There you go, sitting on this rail again, the Tito. Nice little dodge, didn't dive on it straight away. As a result, saved himself from a surefire rail hit. And pushing out now, steals away this mid-yellow.
That's good. I mean, he could have stayed around and looked for more damage there, but I think it's good that he's moving back to the important part of the map rather than getting bogged down in fights in the secondary areas. And
wow.
Look, makes the kill onto the Tommy just before the red armor spawns.
I'm surprised he didn't make the jump up. Actually,
yeah,
can you make that jump?
You can.
Yeah. But he would have just made it, landed on the red, picked up the drop weapon. Oh! A war of attrition there with that shotgun.
And that's when shotgun fights become ugly.
5 seconds to go before this next quad damage. Red armor picked, could drop down to Tito. Nice little drop, he could time this perfectly. Gotta be careful of those grenades. Really nicely done. 2 frags on the board straight away, and this quad run, mega health in his hand as well. Good amount of health and armor. Then lightning gun, shotgun. Needs ammo for the lightning gun. Chasing shadows a little bit here, though. Can get a couple of frags here, though. I think the rail player spotted him. Oh, wow.
Good effort by Mortal, but he didn't really make any contact.
Wow, look at this. How many frags are we looking at?
5, 6.
6 frag.
And if the game wasn't close before this, after that immensely impressive quad run, it now is tied.
Excellent.
Or was tied for a moment.
Yeah, there we go. Tied game between the two. Mega health up any second. Oh, it misses out on it. Ikked's grabbing that one.
Any value from that mega health, though, has been instantly taken away.
Rail does just miss a Tito. He needed that lightning gun ammo. Wasn't too happy about that. I don't know why he was using it still, though. Didn't work out too well, did it? Sometimes that can kind of fluster you. You go to do something, your teammate takes it from you, and sort of like lost. Well, that was, he'd already thought about his next steps after picking up that ammo. Team kind of rushed there. Wanted to save that red armor off the spawn.
That's a good lightning gun, though, from, I don't know who that was, assisting Kenny. And Kenny picked up the kill in the end, but all of a sudden, Mort just took so much damage.
Just trying to secure this out. Always got to be careful on this spot.
Tell you I've never seen so many tight teams in one place.
Oh, running into this position, pick up the lightning gun. Good timing on that. Very important to time certain weapons on this map. For example, lightning gun and
lightning
railgun.
gun is the most important, for sure. I mean, railgun, if you're the team holding red, you've got really no right to the railgun.
Go, quad is picked, but it's instantly dispatched by Ikked's. Nice play. Yeah, weapons spawn 30 seconds after you've picked them, so it's a very simple item to time.
Even you can do it.
Well, I'm not sure about me, but...
No, I need a coach to do it, personally. Or someone watching a stream.
A lot of people have the ability to time 30 seconds. Impressive. And it's important in TDM to time those items, just as important as in Duel.
Well, it's kind of more important in TDM because there are as many items as a Duel map, but between 8 players instead of 2.
Good point.
So, you know, you've got to have lots of items to get a good spread around your team. Otherwise, you're going to be carrying people who have nothing to work with. Stride
just sitting back and railing. It does take a rail for his troubles, though. 56% rail for him at the moment. Always got to be careful, though. You don't get stuck doing nothing, contributing no real damage. You know, if you're sitting back there and there's no rail shots coming up, you can't just sit there all day.
No, that's true. You always have to be moving around to action areas if you're going to be sitting back using rail. You can't afford to just sit in the middle of nowhere and not be dealing any damage, as you say.
Ideally, if you've got a weapon, you want to be using up that ammo pretty much constantly, dealing out damage.
Yeah, but not wasting the ammo, of course, because, you know, ammo's at a premium. You know, it's not like Duel or CTF where there's 5 seconds on the weapon respawn for you to constantly replenish ammo, so ammo is more of a concern in TDM.
Yeah,
at least in terms of the usage of it. You know, you can't afford to just, let's say, sit on a corner and spam LG if you think someone's around there, because you know, that LG ammo is quite valuable.
There we go, 3 seconds till the quad. Oh, that hurt. Immortal with the quad. He needs his teammate Death to just run out and take any exit damage. He wants to drop that lightning gun. Oh my god, that was a complete mess up. Somehow Immortal comes out alright from that though. He did take some damage. Oh my god, that was close. And there you go.
Excellent.
That was excellent positioning by Team Evo actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy on this map, even with quad, to attack certain areas, and red armor is one of those areas. You know, even if you get up there, there's all sorts of positions players can be hiding around corners, waiting to pop out and shoot you any moment.
There's a lot of sneaky players out there as well, boy.
Exactly. We like to call them rats.
Team Evo, they brought it all the way back to that draw, but they dropped behind again. I mean, it just seems to be that line they can't quite cross where they can build out their own lead.
Yeah, I mean, they've done so well in this final to have such a close DM7, and now they're more than in this game here on intervention as well. But it does seem perhaps that tying the game up is just a bit beyond them at the moment.
Excellent.
Good couple of frags by Fortune. They're picking up quite a lot. I'm going to have a quick look at the scoreboard. See who's murking out the frags. Well, Immortal's 17 frags, and he got disconnected, so...
Yeah.
Dettel's only 19. So he's done pretty well there. Look at 33 and 30, Ickheads and Fortune. And they got positive nets. So it's pretty good for them. No positive nets. Itito won. No positive nets on Team Evo's team, but they're all pretty tight.
The only thing that matters this is positive damage nets. You know,
okay.
I imagine it's Deliberate Murder who are ruling the roost on damage nets.
22 frags difference, as you can see. Team Evo just hitting that sentry scoreline. The quad is grabbed, but instantly dispatched. And we've got 2 quads left on the map, so it could be down to those quads for.
It could be. I would say for Team Evo, it's certainly down to those quads, whether or not they can take them and get themselves back into this match. Of course, they need to take this map, otherwise this grand final will end 3-0 to Deliberate Murder. But despite it possibly ending as a 3-0, I don't think you can fault Team Evo for their effort. You know, they might have been destroyed on the first map, but the second map, I think that really could have gone either way, and we still can't completely count them out of this final map. Or potentially final map.
I'm supporting them for a great comeback here. Just bring that back. It's not out of the realms.
No?
It's not a massive difference, you know, it's just under 30 frag margin. They can do it. The thing is, they go through these periods out of control, and if you throw away too many frags during those periods, when you get back in control, which is almost inevitable, you've got too much work to do.
Yeah, you can't leave yourself too much to do at the end here because, I mean, let's face it, 31 frags in 4 minutes, that's a lot to ask, because you're at the point there where you're not just asking Team Evo to make a great comeback, you're asking 102 to have a dramatic collapse to allow it.
"30 seconds till the penultimate quad is up. 10 seconds till the red."
The penultimate power-up is the most important power-up.
Yep, the rest barely matter.
In fact, there's an argument that we should only have 4-minute matches.
So then it's like the first quad matters as well because it sets the tempo, but it's also the penultimate.
Yep.
Brilliant. That would be ideal. There you go, quad picks up by Fortune. There's only 1 quad left on the map now for Team Evo to grab, and
Did the quad die?
it died straight away, yeah.
I thought I switched away from it accidentally, but I didn't.
Here you are.
I'm on Detour.
Good, I'm on Death too. 52% rail for him at the moment, 10 impressives. On Stry though.
Fighting valiantly to make a comeback, but fighting on your own at the red, it's really a losing battle.
And they've really laid the smackdown in the last couple of minutes. 102.
Yeah, you have to say it's partly the eagerness of Team Evo to try and make the comeback that has kind of exposed them more to being fragged.
I think you're right. I mean, sometimes you just got to consolidate your position, really focus in and take advantage of the other team's desperation to try and retain their lead. I mean, they got back to this draw situation, and I think they just kind of got too excited and just pushed all out and lost a little bit of focus on the end goal. But yeah, in a way, it's more down to 102. I mean, just, you see every time we switch to one of their players, they're getting 2 or 3, even 4 frags in a row, and you know what you can do.
Yeah, they got people running at them as well, and you know anyone playing Quake knows when someone's running at you, it generally puts you in the advantageous position. You can steady yourself and make the shots, and you know the player running at you is, you know, striving to do damage, but is not in an advantageous situation to do so.
Well, still following Fortune. The 4-2-1.
Yeah, and he's had a good night. He's played well on every map. We've seen good moments from him.
Who's going to be your man of the match? We'll decide after the quad, alright? So you've got a little bit of time to think. Maybe it could be set by this final Quadatito picking it up. Almost blows himself up there, only got 9 health. How can he escape this?
He's not as hidden as he thinks here, I don't think. No.
Oh, goes down. Nickers knew what he was doing. Yeah, so why don't you call man of the match?
I'd probably have to give it to Immortal. You know, good power-up runs on, I think, pretty much all the maps, or certainly the first 2. And he is such a key player for 102. You know, ever since we first saw him playing for them, you know, a year or so ago, a year and a half maybe at this point, he's been such a powerhouse for their team, along with Pavel, who obviously is absent tonight. But yeah, once again, I have to give it to Immortal. Such a key player. Good performances yet again.
I love his style. He goes so aggressive on people.
Yeah, and it amazes me that I'm so impressed with how well he aims with such a high sense, and the damage output he has at all times. It's brilliant.
There you go. That's your champions then.
And even
102.
then, 36 frags despite being disconnected from the game. I don't know what his actual time in game was at this point, but
impressive, very impressive.
it was. Everyone says they've got 32 in-game minutes, which is obviously wrong, but he was only in game for 18 minutes by that count. So
what?
I don't know. That's
because the timeouts. Were the timeouts really that long? Like,
yeah, so
seriously,
12-minute
they can't be.
timeout was it? I don't